The Influencer's Edge is brought to you by the Rapid Sales Accelerator. If you're ready to skyrocket your sales by 30% or more in just 90 days, then you need to claim your free training right now. You'll learn 4 words that will compel your prospects to trust you like they were children within the first 3 to 5 minutes of any conversation across any platform and any medium. You'll learn how to give your prospects objection amnesia, to crush objections like, I need to talk to my spouse, or I need more time to think it over, or it's too expensive. If you'd like to claim your free training now, go to www.paulrossbook.com. Do it before your competition does it now. Thank you for tuning in to the Influencer's Edge, where you get the latest breakthroughs, cutting-edge insights, tools, and techniques so you can leapfrog over the pack in sales, influence, and persuasion. Remember to visit our website at www.theinfluencersedge.com to enjoy even more great episodes like this one. We look forward to seeing you again on the Influencer's Edge Show. Welcome back to the Influencer's Edge. This is the show that thinks outside the box, comes outside the lines, and disconnects the dots. That's why you're here. So today's guest is Mark Hunter. I wanted to have Mark on for several reasons, one of which is you named one of the top 500 global sales gurus. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's actually one of the top 50.
Top 50, excuse me. I got that wrong. You are correct. One of the top 50. That's I got it wrong by a factor of 10.
It doesn't get me a free cup of coffee anyplace. So
You think like I think. Okay, cool. You've been named as one of you call yourself the sales hunter. That's very interesting. Why hunting? Because you also emphasize integrity. That's your big thing. It would seem to me that hunting and integrity are completely on the other sides of the spectrum. So let's get at it, right? I don't know if you've ever been called on that before, but
I've been called on that one. In fact, it's funny because I got another book coming out later in the year, Integrity First Prospecting. Okay, I'll let you chew on that one for a while.
okay.
How do you process and then after that, Integrity First Negotiations. Whoa, wow. Anyway, okay. Here's the thing. I think because the world is so noisy out there, and it's noisy. There's so much AI stuff. There's so much. Just because you can send out 1,000 emails doesn't mean you should send out 1,000 emails and all this sort of stuff. Yeah, what it means is that for salespeople, for communication in anything, you got to create a relationship. You have to create a relationship, and stop and ask yourself, who do you want to align yourself with? Do you want to align yourself with the people who you really want to avoid doing business with because they're the scuzz and the scum of society? Or do you want to align yourself with people who are, integrity centered? It's integrity centered. So that's where I say that, selling with integrity is no longer an option. It's a requirement because you know what's interesting? Customers have options. They don't need salespeople. It's amazing what people can buy today without ever talking to a salesperson. So if you want to have a future in sales, you better figure out a way to connect with the customer. Just saying.
Okay. Let me push back a little bit. That's my job. My audience expects it. Uh, Integrity is fine. I get it. And it's necessary. So it's necessary. My pushback would be it's necessary, but is it sufficient? And if I can unpack that for you, the challenge I'm throwing your way,
Yeah, no.
I can be filled with integrity, but if I can't ask the right questions, if I can't lead the imagination and the emotions of the prospect, et cetera, if I'm not prepared to handle objections are always going to arise. If I don't have preparation to reframe them, that's great. The integrity is like rapport. It'll start the connection. You need it there. But in and of itself, it's not enough. So what would you say to that?
I say you are spot on. Integrity is just table stakes. That just gets you a seat at the table. It doesn't keep you at the table. It does not keep you there at all. But what I do say is that if you are approaching things with integrity, you're going to approach your conversation in a different manner because you're going to be putting the customer first. It's no longer about you. It's no longer about your quota. It's no longer about you. I've got to close this one deal today. I got to get this today. It's about putting the customer first. That is what integrity is all about. It's about taking the it's a long game and putting the customer first. So does that mean that you may sacrifice yourself on the altar of missing a quota? Yeah, yeah, you might. But you know what I find is this, and I used to play this game. You try to make the quota this quarter. Oh, great, great. And then I guarantee it, you'll miss it next quarter. Because guess what? All you did was mortgage your soul. And what I say is,
Being a little bit, again, I'm going to push back. It's my job.
yeah,
It's my job. It's not personal.
I love it. No, I love it.
Isn't mortgaging your soul a little bit, what's the word? A little bit theatrical, a little bit
Yeah.
dramatic. Are we mortgaging our soul? If I get what you're saying, it's metaphorically so, but practically speaking, what does that mean?
Well, it means that I'm making comments to a customer. I'm saying, hey, you're going to be able to achieve this, this, and this. Well, you know what? I know they're probably not going to be able to.
Okay, that's lying.
I am delivering, I'm making comments, I'm setting the expectations of what the customers, how the customer is going to benefit, really at a level that just probably is not going to be achievable.
Got it.
That's it. That is selling without integrity when you do
Okay,
that.
so selling with integrity means you're going to be transparent about the results that
Yeah.
the prospect or customer can get. I got it. It also has to do with product knowledge. You have to know what your product is, or you're not going to be able to know what the promise is going to be. What are some of the other elements that go into integrity?
Yeah, so some of the other elements is whether or not you're even the right person, the right customer. You're the right vendor that the customer should be talking to. Because here's what I found is that desperate salespeople will try to sell to anything. And it's interesting is like your cat has got a heartbeat. Your cat's not going to buy anything, right? I mean, your cat is not going to buy anything.
Cats don't buy
Yeah,
in. They take
yeah.
brains.
So what I say is this is that I got to make sure that I'm selling to people who I know I can help, who I know will receive a benefit from what it is. Now, this is what's interesting. And this is where it actually makes selling easier. Because when I don't try to push myself onto people who really don't fit what I sell, I have more time to spend on those people who do fit my criteria. So actually what I'm doing is I'm making myself more efficient by staying focused, by having this integrity centered mindset.
I get it. And how is this different? All right. So when I get a potential client, I'm going to ask questions. First of all, I'm going to ask questions to see where they're at and to see if my solutions fit. How is this any different than just qualifying the potential client by asking questions to see if first and foremost, I'm just going to say it to see if they can afford the product or service. If my product or service is a $50,000 program and they're doing $100,000 a year, I'm just going to cut off based on that. So
Right.
how's that different from being very effective at asking questions to elicit the potential customer's values, just what they're looking for, but what their values are in life, what their goals and aims are, just asking efficient questions, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's the same process of asking questions, but what I find is this. When I'm selling with integrity, I'm asking tougher questions early because he, here's what drives me crazy about salespeople who are, boy, I got this one customer, and I can't ask them tough questions early on because they may say no, and then I'm going to lose them. I'm gonna take them on this long journey. If I'm selling with integrity, I'm hitting you with those hard questions. I'm finding out, like you said, hey, if I got a $50,000 product and you're only doing $100,000 a year in sales, 100,000 a year in business, you can't afford me. I want to find that out early. And I don't hesitate to ask difficult questions early on
Tell
because
us
if
about different. What would be, let's unpack that a little bit, because I
Yeah.
did tell you I like to unpack. So what are examples of difficult questions? What would be a difficult question other than how much money do you make, for it? What do you assume to be a difficult question?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk through. So, how is it that you've made decisions like this in the past? And I'm gonna be right up front. Now, that sounds like a softball question, but whatever it is they say, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna probe deeper because I want to understand. I want to understand from them how do they go about making a decision?
Brilliant.
Because chances are I'm not talking to the decision maker. I'm talking to just somebody who's interested. And see, what I
Oh,
want is I want to get to the decision maker,
gold,
economic buyer. That's where.
gold, gold. So this is a great way to say, how do I get past the gatekeeper? How do I know is the gatekeeper? You
Right.
just dropped $1 million in that one idea. That one idea and the execution of that idea probably has made you, I can curse on my show and show, so can you. To use an accurate financial term, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze in a minute, so I'm going to hit the mute button. Dear, I hope I don't get sick for New Year's. We're right before New Year's Eve. It's December 30th. I'm sorry, I sneezed the question right out of my brain. What was the question?
Well, it was the $1 million question of getting past the gatekeeper because you're right. Because I want to get right to the decision maker. I want to get to the economic buyer. I don't want to talk to somebody who's just willing to have a conversation with me. That's why I say, how have you made decisions like this in the past? And I'm listening. And the follow up to that is, have you ever made a decision like this in the past? Now stop and think about that one. That one stops people right
Have
there.
you studied neurolinguistic programming? Because this is an NLP question. It's called an elicitation question, where when you say, how do you make decisions? And you'll notice they'll use certain language, and that you take that language and you reflect it back. Have you studied NLP?
No, I haven't because I made the upper half of my class possible.
You made the upper half of your class what?
I made the upper half of my class possible. So, I mean, I
What does
wasn't
that
that bright in
mean?
school.
What does that mean? I don't get it.
Well, it means I was not very smart in school. I
Oh,
did.
most people in the NLP community couldn't think their way out of a wet paper
Well, there you go.
bag.
Hey, I'm giving them credit, okay? What the heck,
So
right?
is there, whenever someone has a process, once I unpack what the process is, I always want to rewind a little bit and ask, how'd you come up with that? Did you have a mentor? Before you answer, did you have a mentor? Were you struggling and thinking, I need to do something different? All these other book trainings are bullshit. How did you come up with it? What was your process for inventing and creating this?
I got fired from my first two sales jobs. That's how I came up with it. Yeah.
Necessity. You had to eat.
Yeah. And it was on my third sales job where my boss, I still remember his name, Bob Stone, Portland, Oregon, calls me in and he sits me down and he asked me why I was in sales. I didn't have a good answer. I did not have a good, I thought I was going to get fired. And he told me, he says, you're never going to be successful until you take the time to really listen to the customer. Take the time to listen to the customer. What is it that they're saying? Now it isn't suddenly like the skies opened up and I was all of a suddenly became the sales expert. No way, no way. But over the time, over years, it okay began to click that wait a minute. You have got to really spend time understanding what are the needs that it's not what I perceive is value, it's what the customer perceives as value. And I can't know that if I'm doing all the talking. So, there's a line that I love to use. The best sales presentation ever made is the sales presentation never given. Because what am I saying? I'm saying the customer doesn't want a presentation. If they wanted that, they go out to YouTube. What they want is a conversation. That's what I want to give to the customer. Allow them to share with me.
Let me see if I can draw this distinction then. I've known people who are in sales software, sales as service. People
Hmm.
who worked for Salesforce. I don't know if you've
Hmm.
heard of Salesforce or
Oh
not.
yeah. Yep.
So their job was to give presentations for the sales engineer. They were sales engineers.
And they had decision makers there in the room and also the software people who challenge them constantly. And I trained them to do some stuff. Doesn't matter. It's not about me.
Mhm.
They were giving presentations. Now, the decision makers later, you needed to have that conversation. You needed to have those integrity-based conversations. But even in a presentation, you had to present with integrity. They had to know what the product did. So again, pushing back, and because I think in counterexamples, that's an NLP
Yeah.
term. Aren't there situations where you do need to make a presentation?
Yes, you do need to make the presentation, but here's the problem. We get so caught up talking, talking, talking that we never allow the customer to inject. One of the deals, and I love what you're talking about, SaaS, software as a service, and all these companies where they got to demo the product. Here's the problem with demos. And I'm going to go through this presentation. You wind up showing the customer needs and things that they don't care about. That you wind up showing them so many other things that a confused buyer does not buy.
That's right.
And we lose more sales that way because I'm so knowledgeable. I know so much about and I've sat through hundreds of these
Yeah. Oh,
where literally it's one engineer talking with and the two engineers are almost competing with each other.
right.
And the customer sitting there bored, stiff, saying, "Can I just end this right now?" Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. On the other hand, you have to have some technical aspects to it. No, I totally get it. Is there a distinction? I'm going to keep on moving outside your frame because this is where I really push and test and see and come up with things that have you respond in ways that you maybe never haven't because no one's probed to success. It's a personal thing. I have found there's nothing wrong with being crafty in the service of truth. As long as you don't lie and you're being truthful, there's something to be said about being psychologically crafty. I've had some experts on the show who show how to sell through neuroscience and
Mhm.
making sure that you speak in a way that creates dopamine and endorphins. They don't advocate lying about facts.
Mhm. Mhm.
Facts are, and so, what do you think about the idea? I'm going to distinguish crafty from being manipulative and lying. Do you have any comments about that? About being crafty, being clever, about the way you present things?
Yeah, I mean, the way we present so many times is in regard to body language. And let's think about this. One of the ways that we manipulate, one of the ways we craft is just how we use body language. Right now, I have my hands folded and I'm doing kind of a steepling thing. And what
Yeah.
does it do? It naturally draws the other person into it more. And so there's plenty of ways that I can manipulate and so forth using body language. Now, is that integrity centered? You know what? Here's the deal. If that's your normal way that you speak, go for it. Do it. Don't change. Don't change. What I do say is this. I'm going to not mirror, I can't say mirroring the customer, but if the customer is in a relaxed state, I'm going to be in a relaxed state. If the customer is in a tense state, I'm going to be in more of a tense state. Again. So in other words, it's not mirroring the customer, but you got to play in their sandbox. You've got to
Oh, I
play.
love that metaphor.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
love that metaphor. That's a fantastic metaphor. Shut up. I'm working. This cat wants food and attention. Like right now, she wants attention.
see the cat is the decision maker. See, there you go.
Cat, she and her kitty sister are absolutely the rulers and the decision makers. How have you ever had situations where someone has said to you, integrity? That's like being authentic. Everyone talks about it. It's overused. I'm not saying this. You understand? I'm representing my audience who are counter thinkers, who like to think outside the box, who like to challenge. Isn't integrity, first of all, something that everybody says, along with being authentic? Well, they say act from integrity, be authentic. Isn't it? Aren't there I found when I coach and train, again, this is not about me, but I want you to be able to respond to this. That oftentimes when someone says, well, that wouldn't be in integrity for me. What they're really doing is defending rigidity. They have rigid habits and they don't want to change. They're not saying it from truth. They're saying it from fear of change. Can you respond to that?
Yeah, it is because integrity is however you choose to define it. Really, if you really stop and think about it, integrity is nothing more than you have a set of morals and values that you adhere to. Now, that's really being authentic, right? That there is nothing wrong with being authentic, and this is what people are looking for. They don't want a fake relationship. I mean, believe me, there are so many AI tools out there that you can create any kind of fake video, any kind of fake messaging that you want.
Crazy and scary.
It is. It is. I mean, right now you are not talking to me. I am all AI generated. See,
Really?
I am not even in the room.
So
So,
why haven't you made yourself look better looking? I'm teasing.
oh man, hey, see, there he is. There he is. Yeah.
I'm teasing. I would do this,
No,
believe
I
me.
love.
I put myself 30 years younger.
I love that line. I love that line. That's good. You see, it's authenticity is interchangeable with integrity. Now, here's the whole thing. I can be authentic and be a jerk. I,
Exactly.
I can be authentic and have zero morals. I can be authentic and have zero values. So if you think about it, authenticity is a subset of integrity, but not necessarily is it integrity.
I'm sorry. Shit. Oh God. I'm sorry. He jumped on me with a dirty boot. Get off me, cat. Oh my.
Oh, love it.
I'm sorry. We don't edit. This is real life. This
Hey,
cat,
you know what? It's the real world out there.
this
And
cat just used her box and was not, and just jumped on me in a way where I'm doing the show out of integrity and
there you go. Yeah. See, I mean, but see, now stop and think about this. Your audience appreciates the candidness. Your audience appreciates the openness. And this is what people are craving for. They don't want slick productions,
no,
absolutely perfect thing.
no.
Okay, they like that when they turn on Netflix, you know, but no, not in general conversations.
Yeah,
No.
people are sick of slick. People are sick of production values. People are done with it. They don't
Right,
want to see it. They
right.
want raw. So I should reward her for that with treats. She won't remember what she did because she's a dumbass. You're
Yeah,
fun. Are you having fun with this interview?
I am. I am. This is so different, and that's what I like about it. Because again, so many times we find ourselves in conversations that they almost feel script. They're not scripted, but they feel scripted. And I always find that we learn better when we're placed in a position that is just slightly off kilter, just slightly off center.
I
Because
agree.
because think about that. What does that do? It forces you to pay more attention. It forces you to think.
Yeah.
And and that's one of the things that, you know, how many times, I mean, I will see this. I'll do this. I'll be sitting somewhere and I'll be working and somebody's talking to me. And I'm kind of doing this dual task thing, but nothing's really happening. I'm not paying attention to the person, and I'm probably screwing up the work I'm doing. And what I want to be is you want to be in the moment, but you don't want to be in the moment that it's so scripted that it's just, oh, this is just one, two, three, four. No, 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 no. Let's have a little bit of that. If you think about it, the best shows are always ones that have an element of surprise and an element of, oh, I didn't see that. I didn't notice that.
This was not the kind of surprise I would have preferred. We are actually, wow, we're actually at the end of our time. That flew by. I really love this. I hope that you saw, we'll have a little green room conversation. Stay on at the end.
Good. I will.
Mark, I know for a fact on this one, my, I almost said students, but they are students in a sense. My viewers and my listeners, my audience would love to stay in the conversation with you. How do they stay in the conversation with you?
Hey, the best way is my website is thesaleshunter.com. Yeah, my last name is Hunter. It's my real last name. I did not change it. Did not change it. So they can find me there. I'm all over LinkedIn, and so I post there a lot and comment a lot, and it's not none of that's AI generated. It's all me. And of course, my new book is you know um, all about selling with integrity. You know,
What's the name of the book?
integrity first selling.
Love it. All right, stay on with me. Stay on for the green room chat. Are you ready for my bizarre close? Because I always
Yeah,
close the show like this.
yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was another great episode of The Influencer's Edge. So I have to sign off by saying Armada hovering in your cloak space just outside Earth's atmosphere. Eat the Canadians first. They taste better. We'll catch you on the next episode.
The Influencer's Edge is brought to you by the Rapid Sales Accelerator. If you're ready to skyrocket your sales by 30% or more in just 90 days, then you need to claim your free training right now. You'll learn 4 words that will compel your prospects to trust you like they were children within the first 3 to 5 minutes of any conversation across any platform and any medium. You'll learn how to give your prospects objection amnesia, to crush objections like, I need to talk to my spouse, or I need more time to think it over, or it's too expensive. If you'd like to claim your free training now, go to www.paulrossbook.com. Do it before your competition does it now. Welcome to the Influencer's Edge. This is the place where you come to get the latest breakthroughs, cutting-edge insights, tools, and techniques to leapfrog over the pack in sales, persuasion, and influence. Be sure you visit our website at www.theinfluencersedge.com. And while you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, tune in, and enjoy today's episode.